This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the next session of SAP HANA SAP Native HANA training. In the last session, we saw the concepts of ranking and the schema mapping. In today's session, we are going to cover some important concepts regarding input parameters and the variables. And we are only going to cover these two topics today because these are very important topics and we are going to see them in a very thorough manner. Okay, so let's start with today's session. Okay, so what is input parameter and what is variable? Okay, so let's try to understand the picture first of all. What is input parameter and what is variable? So whenever you build a view, right? Whenever you build a view, you get the entire output, right? In the data preview, where whatever we have seen so far. So whenever you do a data preview, you get the entire data set from your tables and it flows through the semantics and you see the data preview. But how about some selective output? That I want to empower the user that what exactly you want to see in the output, you select yourself. So it is like a selection criteria, right? So in Bex queries also we used to create some variables, right, on company code and the fiscal year and period. So we used to give the users the option that whatever you want to select, you select. For example, if the user selects C001 as a company, then user should only be able to see the C001 company code data. Similarly, if somebody selects only 2019 as a fiscal year, then 2019 fiscal year data would only be shown to the user. So for this concept also, you have similar kind of concept in HANA, and those concepts are called input parameters and variables. Okay, so this is input parameter and variables. Okay, now,
This conference will now be recorded.
all right. So now the these two objects, right, which is input parameters and variables, we are going to see them in HANA Studio. But before that, let's try to understand the concept of input parameters and variables here. That the the input parameter, right? When I say I'm going to write as input parameters as IP. Okay, so IP is nothing. Okay, IP is a very important object in HANA. So when we are going to see them practically, you will understand that input parameter has two utility. One utility is to filter the data, filter the data, and also it used as a placeholder. Okay, so this is placeholder. This is input parameter, filter data, and to placeholder. Whereas the variable has only one purpose, and that is to filter the data. Okay, now when I say the filter the data of input parameters as well as variable, of course, the both of them actually filters the data. There's no question on that. Input parameters as well as variables filters the data, but there is also a difference in them. How actually it filters the data. So input parameter, it filters the data wherever you need. However, variable is something, it always filters the data at the end of the view. Very important concept. It is asked a number of times by the interviewer to the interviewee that please give me the difference of variable and input parameter. So answer should be that the variable is only used to filter the data. However, input parameter has two utility. It does not only filter the data, but it can also be used as a placeholder. What is placeholder? That we will see in practically in HANA Studio. And the main difference between input parameter and variable is where it gets the filter, where it applies the filter. So input parameter can be applied as a filter anywhere in the node of the calculation view. However, the variable always filters the data right at the end of the calculation view. Okay, so let's see them one by one in HANA Studio, and then we should be able to understand what is the difference between them. Okay, so let's go to the HANA Studio now. Okay, so what we will do, that we will create a calculation view, a normal calculation view. So we will go to content. Okay, so we will go to our project called Tylo. In this info views, right click, new calculation view. I'm going to create calculation view of type cube. That's fine. So I'm going to write at CV underscore input parameter. So CV underscore IP, and I'm going to just write as a description that input parameters. All right. Oh, where it go? Input parameters. This is to finish it. Fine. Now, what you have to do here. So let's try to actually build a model. Let's try to build a model of VBAK and VBAP. I think we have built so many models. If we can use of any of them, let's see if I can use any of them. What is CV sales cube? I think we have used already. So let's not build any one. Let's try to use one of these. Right? I think it's one of them. Yeah. So I think this one is built on top of VBAK and VBAP, and we have also used the dimension. You see dimension calculation views. So I think it's a very good example. So we can use this. All right. So what we have done so far is we have this view, sales cube. The sales cube gives you information regarding the sales order, which is my header, which is VBAK, and the sales item is coming from VBAP. And as you go on from VBAK and VBAP, you have this VBAK VBAP join here. And what we also want to see the material master data and customer master data along with the transactional data. So here I have joined them. That's fine so far. What we want to do now is input parameter and variables. Okay, so let's try to see each one of them one by one. Okay, so let's see that what exactly we can do here. Let's see in the raw data. All right, so let's say, what other things you have here? You have VBLN, you have sales order type also, right? Sales order type. All right. Okay, so let's do one thing. So what we will do, let's do one thing. Where is the net amount here? Net amount is, where is net amount? Can you see the net amount here? Yeah, this is net amount, right? Okay, so what we want to do is, based on the sales order type, this is AUART, right? This is sales order type. Based on a sales order type, we want to give some discounts to the user. Very simple example. Okay, so what we want to do basically is, you have certain sales order type, right? So let's take one of these two. So what system is saying that if you encounter any sales order of like ZOR or ZS01, okay, something like that. Not even this example. Let's have someone more meaningful example. Okay, let's say that what we will do is, we will ask the user that discount And if user say yes, then we will provide discount to all the sales order items and the discount will be 10%. If user says no, then we will provide no discount. Okay, very simple question. All right, so what we will do now, go to semantics. This is semantics. Go to parameters and variables. This is your tab, parameters and variables. Okay, click here, create input parameter. Again, you are here, go to semantics, go to parameters. You have two choices here, create input parameter. All right, now what we want to ask the user, discount yes or no. This is what we want to ask the user. Okay, and this is also going to be a mandatory option. So we will write is mandatory, means user has to give some value, yes or no, otherwise it will not allow. Okay, now if you see here, there are a lot of different kinds of parameter type. Of course, we are going to see each one of them, what is the different utility. For now, we will just select direct. Okay, this is direct. And what exactly you want? Yeah, so what is going to be my data type here? If you want to have any kind of data type, or you can just simply write as varchar length 1, right? Because what I can have as the answer, y or n, right? So it's a one character. So what I will do, varchar length 1. Okay, this is also done. And is there anything which is still needed here, which is star? I think there is some mandatory item which is still needed by them, which is still needed and it is not here. Okay, so actually what it's saying, name can contain alphanumeric characters and underscore. So this backslash we cannot use actually. Okay, so let's remove discount discount, and we will write as y we cannot use the bracket also, I think. Yeah, we cannot use. So simply we will write discount and discount. Okay, that's it. In the label, I think we can use discount yes or no. All right, very simple example. Okay, now click on activate. Activation is done. Okay, now you preview it. Raw data. Are you able to see any prompt here? No, right? When you did the data preview, it is not coming. Why? Because we have to do something else also. When we do this input parameter, it is still not used anywhere, right? So we have to use. How do you use it? So let's see that. So what exactly are use cases? That if user says yes, then we will provide discount to the net amount. If not, we will not provide. Okay. So what we will do, we will go to aggregation node, because right at the end we want to provide the discount. And what we will do, we will create another calculated column and we will write as net amount, something like this, final net amount. And here it will be decimal 17,2. And what is the condition? The condition is if, right? If, now if what? If my input parameter discount is yes or no. So how do you actually bring that input parameter variable here? So you see here, there is input parameter here. Click here, discount. So this is how you refer the input parameter variable. If input parameter is equal to y, then what do you want to do? You want to provide that your 10% discount. So net amount, which is net amount here, you want to provide discount. So we will do right this, net amount minus net amount into 0.10, right? Into 0.10. So when you do this, the discounted price will be like this. But if it is not Y, then what? You don't want to provide a discount, right? So else will be like this. Again, I'm repeating. If the input parameter is Y, then you have two sections. The first section before comma is if true, and after comma is false. So if the net amount, if the discount, if user says yes, I want to provide discount, then what? So this is the condition which is getting fulfilled. So this is a formula to get the 10% discount. If not yes, then what will happen? It will go to the else block. So else block, I say no, no discount, provide me as it is the net amount. Click on OK. Done. Now you activate it. Done. Now you click on. Now you see, as soon as you click on data preview, it asks me discount. Now see, I cannot even put it as blank because it is mandatory. So it won't even let me go. What it is saying, one or mandatory variable should have some value. So let's say value is Y. Click on OK. Click on data. And now let's see exactly what is happening in the net amounts. Okay. So let's go to net amount. Now you see this is net amount and this is final net amount. Do you see any difference? This is final net amount, which I just did. And this is your net amount, which is coming from database. So this is your database one. This is net amount. And this is final net amount, which I just calculated. So you see, 10% discount is there everywhere, isn't it? Yes, it's there. Now, let's do the other way. Let's try to not give any discount. So your final amount in net amount should be same. Okay, so go to data preview. Here I will say no, I don't want to give any discount. Okay, raw data. Go to last column and here you see no discount, so everything remain common. Your final net amount and net amount is common. See, nothing has been changed because there is no discount. I think you understood, and this concept is called as placeholder. I'm not filtering anything. Am I doing any filtering here? No. The data is coming as it is. It's just that I'm using input parameter. Input parameter is what? I'm taking a parameter. I'm taking some input from the user. I'm taking their answer and I'm putting it into the logic. That is called placeholder. So the answer from user is actually taken as a placeholder so that I can build some logic. That is called as placeholder. So this is an example of input parameter as an placeholder. I'm not doing any filtering. I'm just using the input of the user and I'm building some logic. Very clear? Now what we will do, we will see the other utility of input parameter, and that is to filter. Okay. So let's do a filtering kind of thing. Okay. So what we will do, so what should be the use case? Okay, so first of all, let's do the data preview and then we will see that what should be the our use case. Okay, for time being, okay, let's keep this as it is. Okay, let's keep this thing also as it is. Y. Okay, raw data. Now you see here what kind of filter we can do here. So what are the things you have here? VKORG. Okay, so you have sales organization, right? VKORG. Right at the middle, if you can see, this is VKORG, right? So this VKORG is sales organization. So I want user to select the sales organization if he wants to see only the particular sales organization, right? So you have S0001, Z9000, 1710. So user can select any of them and they can see the data. All right. So what we will do, let's go to the calculation view. In this calculation view, what we have to do is go to semantics, go to parameter, input parameter, click here, click on create input parameter. What I will ask user, enter sales, sorry, like this, sales org, right? We cannot use any kind of uh, special characters other than underscore. But here I will write enter sales org, enter sales org this, because you see this label is getting displayed in front of the user, right? Label. So you can write any kind of text you want here. So what I am saying, enter sales org. And again, what we will do, we are not going to make it as mandatory. We are going to make it optional. So optional means what? If user enters anything, it will filter. If user does not enter anything, it will show you the entire data. It's a very simple concept of optional. All right. So let it as it is. And there is also concept of default value. So what is default value? So whenever you get this prompt, okay, let's leave this thing as it is. We will cover it in the next topic, in the next in some other time. Okay. So what, let it be. We will just cover it just after this topic. Data type would be varchar. In sales org would be around 4 characters. Okay. For now, just keep as it is. Click on OK. Done. Now click on activate. Now tell me, please answer in the chat window. Will this filter the data? Will this filter the data when I execute it? When I see the data preview? I have created the input parameter sales org. When I do the data preview, will this filter or not? Please answer in the chat window, yes or no. Will this filter the data according to sales org or not? User has to filter. I know user has to filter. So when I click on data preview and I enter the sales order, for example, M15, and click on data preview, will that filter the data or not? Have I done everything inside my calculation view? Which will enable it to filter? I have created no, exactly. I have only created the input parameter. Okay, so let's see the result. I will do data preview. See, even I am not getting the sales org. I'm not even getting the prompt in front of my screen that please enter the sales org. So that is again one of the interview questions you might ask. You mean someone might ask that I have created an input parameter. Will you see the prompt or not? The answer is no. You have to apply. You have to use it as input parameter. You have to either use it as a placeholder, which we have just seen, or we have to use it as a filter. Okay, then only it will be coming as a prompt. So here the next question to you is, do we need here, are we here to filter the data, or we are going to use it as a placeholder, the sales org bar? Are we going to use sales org input parameter as a filter or input parameter? Answer in the chat window. Are we going to use sales org as a parameter, or we are going to use it as a filter? Are we going to use sales org as a placeholder or as a filter? What we are going to do now? Filter, right? So what we have to do, we will go to your table where the sales org is actually coming from, right? That is what you want, exactly, yeah. So what you can do is another thing, another very important thing, that for example, now for example, you have created your calculation view. Now you don't know exactly this sales organization where exactly it is coming from, right? Because you want to restrict it. Now you want to restrict it right at the table level, right? But you don't know which table does it come from. Is it coming from VBAK or is it coming from VBAP? See, this is a very small example, VBAK and VBAP. Of course, you can go manually and you can check it. But in real world, you can have 30 to 40 tables minimum when you create any calculation view. So you're not going to go one by one in the table and you are going to see that, okay, which table is supplying me this field. So there is a concept called show lineage. Okay. So let me also put this thing in the PPT so that it can also be used in the records. Show lineage. Very important concept when you are troubleshooting the issues. So show lineage. So show lineage means what? It shows the path of particular column in the view. So in other word, it gives the entire path highlighted from beginning to end. Okay, this is called show lineage. So what exactly it does is, if you go to your HANA Studio, which field I am interested in. So go to your semantics, sorry, go to your aggregation. So the last node of your calculation view, just click it. Go in the output panel. We are interested in the VQRG part, right? Right click and click on show lineage. See, very beautifully it will show that where it is coming from. See, from VBAK, it went to other node, other node, other node, other node, other node, and then finally it went to aggregation. So now I got the answer that this VQRG is actually coming from VBAK table. Okay, so this is my answer. Now just come here. Now how do you remove the lineage? You just click on this button, cross button. Okay, so the lineage is done. So go to your VBAK table. As you know, the answer is VBAK is your table. In VBAK, this is VQRG, right? Right click here, apply filter. Apply filter. And then you apply the filter, where do you, which thing you want to filter? Okay. So either you can hard code that I would just want to see S001, but this is not we want. This we want. We don't want to hard code it. So what we want is click here. And do you need fixed values? No, I don't want to click any of them. I don't want to be hard coded. I don't want to be restricted every time with this only. So what I will do, instead of fixed, click on input parameter. And then you see you can use either of them. But which one do we need? Do you want here? Is sales org, right? So sales org input parameter will be used here as my filter. Very simple. Now click on OK. Click on activate. Activation done. Click on data preview, and then you see here sales org is also coming. So what is the discount? I want to see the discount, and at this moment click here. Okay, nothing is coming. We will see why it is not coming, but let's see that which one you want to filter. Let's take some example from here. Okay, that will not work. Let's make it mandatory. Click on OK. I basically want to see the different values. Let's go to VBAK data preview. Okay, here also it will ask. Go to VBAK table, then data preview, raw data. Go to distinct value. In the distant value, we want to see VKORG. So let's say I'll take Z900 as my sales org value. Okay, so here, go to data preview. I want to see the discount, yes, and I want to see Z900. Click on OK, go to data preview. And now you see here, only Z900, where is that? Z900 will be served as your input parameter. So in output, you can see only Z900 is coming as the output. Why? Because it is filtered. Because it is filtered. And that is why it is coming as Z900 only. Okay, Z900. Now I also wanted to show you what is a default value. When you go to semantics, okay, not even semantics, click on data preview. So what I want is when you click on data preview, by default some value should come here so that I don't have to feed every time. By default, what is coming here? From and to, nothing is coming, right? So what I want to do, I want to feed some value. So for example, when I go to discount, okay, I'm here in the discount. What I want is, I want every time to be discounted. I want y to be shown as the default value. Okay, so click on OK. Same way, when I go to sales org, I want Z900 to be shown as my default value. So again, Z900 is my default value. Done. Now click on data, click on activate. Activation is done. Just 1 minute, let me just handle this window. Yeah, data preview. Now you see here the difference. By default, some default values are coming so that I don't have to enter anytime. See, discount is also happening. You see, discount is happening. At the same time, Z900 is also getting filtered out. So this is what it is, input parameter. So you saw what the input parameter utility? The first utility is the placeholder. Placeholder is only used as a placeholder because I'm just using this value and deriving some logic. So what is exactly using of placeholder? Using the value of input parameter, I am deriving the value of another column, which is my discounted column. The second utility of input parameter, which is the most important utility, is the filtering utility. I can use this as a filter anywhere. So see, I use VBAK here and I use as a filter, isn't it? I have used it as a filter. So in any of the projection, you can use filtering. So here also, if I want to filter anything, I can use apply filter, and you can use the projection in the input parameter, right? So in any of the node, I can do it. See here, apply filter. I can use here. I can use. So basically, I want to show you one more thing. See, what I want to show here is, okay. So I will also show you one more example of filter. Here I will remove this filter, okay, and click on activate. That's fine. Okay. So now what I want to do is, I want to filter it here, not here. Okay, not here, but here.
This conference will now be recorded.
So here, now what we want is, I don't want to restrict in the table level, okay. Instead, what I'll do, let's say I'll do the filtering at this level, okay, at this level. What I'll do in the VQRG, go to apply filter, equal to input parameter as sales org, okay, and done. Click on activate. Done. Okay. Job log close. Okay. Now you click on save and activate. Oh, sorry, it's already done. So click on data preview. Okay, again it is coming. Click on OK, raw data. See, nothing is changed here, right? If you see here, Z900 is coming as it is. There is nothing else coming, right? There is nothing else coming. And if you see here the discount is also taking place. nothing is changed, right? But internally, a lot of thing has changed. How? If you look at this node, right? At this node, when I click on data preview, right? What it is saying, do you want to filter? I say yes, okay. Click on okay, go to raw data. Now go to VQRG. Can you see all the VQRG here? Yes, all the VQRG is coming. You see here VQRG? All the VQRG is coming, right? All the VQRG is coming. But what I mentioned is, I just want to see what? Z900. So why it is happening like this? Because I have not filtered at this node. I have filtered at this node. So what will happen? The data from this node, which is VBAK, right? The data from VBAK will flow to this. So entire data. So the data from all the sales organization will reach this join, and from this join also it will reach this join. So am I interested to see all the data here? The question is Z900 I want to see, or what? So in other words, whatever user is entering, I want to see only exactly the same sales organization data. But you see the fault in the design. What is the fault in the design? From VBAK, I'm able to get the data of all the sales organization till this layer, and from this layer also till this layer, I'm able to see I'm able to get the entire data. So what happens? This is called fault design. Why? The performance will be gone for toss. Why? Because unnecessary. For example, you have 1 million row here, right? So 1 million rows will unnecessarily be going here, and again 1 million row will be going here. But what I am interested is, I'm only interested in 10,000 rows. Why? Because 10,000 rows is only belonging to my Z9000 or any other sales organization. So instead of 10K, what I am supplying in the first two nodes, 1 million rows unnecessarily. Yes, you are right that in the join, in the latest stages of the join, it will be filtered out to the right sales organization. But this is not the right design, right? So what is the SAP best practices? Please note this thing. It is the best practice given by SAP, that always restrict the data at the bottommost layer. Always restrict the data right at the bottommost layer, so that the minimum amount of data is traveling from one node to another. I'm repeating. What is SAP best practice? SAP best practice is to always restrict the data at the bottommost layer. As much bottom you can restrict, please restrict it. So what should be done? Let's write it here. We will write it in best practices, right? So what SAP best practices says, that always restrict the data at the bottommost node. So when I say bottommost node, the projection where the table is projecting the columns. Okay, very important concept. Very important concept, that always restrict the data right at the bottommost layer where the data is getting projected in the calculation view. Okay, this is very important. You should always remember, and it is one of the favorite interviewer question, that what is SAP best practices when it comes to performance. So what should be your first answer? This answer. And that answer is always restrict the data at the bottommost node. Okay, so I'm just writing here SAP best practices, always restrict the data in the bottommost layer. Okay, now let's go to your use case. So what we were doing there. So you saw the utility of input parameter, it is used to filter the data. That is fine, right? but you should always restrict right at the bottom. So this design is faulty. Let's remove this filter from here. Let's put it here. So the VQRG will be putting here like this. Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
So the idea is that always restrict the data right at the bottommost layer. There is no point getting the unnecessary data traveling through different nodes, and unnecessarily the performance of the view will be affected. So what you should do is go to your VBAK VQRG, right? What is your field? VQRG is a sales organization number. Here, what you have to do, go to use U2 as input parameter and use that as sales organization, and click on OK, and click on activate. Done activation, yeah. And now when you see right at the end, when you click on this node, click on data preview, right? It again asks, click on OK, go to raw data. Now you see right at the starting only, the data is getting restricted. So what is the more meaningful thing? Always restrict at the bottommost layer where the things are getting originated, right? So it's a very normal example in the real life also, that whenever you want to actually get rid of any disease, you actually look for the root cause, right? So where exactly is the root cause, you actually target that, right? So for so for example, you have any disease, you actually focus on the root cause, and for that only you take the diseases, your medicine. Same way here also, that what exactly is the root from where the data is getting originated, then and there you actually apply the filter, and limited number of your data will be supplied in the next node. Okay, so this is the utility of filter. Okay, now let's see the utility of variables. So now, by now you understood the concept of input parameter, that the filters can be applied anywhere in the calculation view. This is which we seen now. But should we do like this? No. The answer is no. We should only always restrict at the bottom. Okay, wherever it is getting originated. And the second utility we saw is the placeholder. We can use the input parameter as a placeholder to derive the values of different columns. Okay, that was the second utility. Now we will see the variables part. What exactly is happening in the variable? Okay, so for variable, what we will do is we will create a variable, and variable we will create on, say example, we will create on, let's see that where we can apply. Go to your data for Z900. Okay, and in Z900 we will actually restrict it on, is there anything which is getting not repeated here? No, let's fine, that's fine. What we will do, we will create a copy of this view, so that this view even is, you can also refer at the next in the later stages of your reference. And so which one we took is cube, right? Let's copy this calculation views and paste it, because this will be the first example you can refer for input parameter, and this you can refer it for variables, so that you can refer it anytime. So cv cube, and I will just mention as var, so you can use as variable. So now you go to variable part, open it. Now for now what we will do, we will remove these two. Okay, because we only focus on variables, so let's remove these two. Okay, okay, okay. Now what it is saying, that one of the calculated column is dependent on that input parameter, right? So we have to remove this calculated column also, otherwise it will throw an error that where is that input parameter which were you using. Okay, so that is done. In the filter also, what we had used, we have to remove it. So remove the filter. Now I think we have actually made it like the initial level of calculation view. Yes, completed successful. Let's even take the data preview part. See, nothing is coming. That's fine. So input parameter has been deleted. Okay, so now what is variable? Okay, now similar requirement. Similar requirement of filtering the data according to sales org. So how will you do it? Go to semantics, go to parameter variables tab, click on create variable. All right, click on now variable. What we will do? We will write as again same thing, sales org, and we will write as enter sales org colon. All right. Now, what exactly it is asking? It is asking that in which attribute you want to filter. So which attribute is that? VQORG, right? So find VQORG. VQORG is my filter attribute, and that's it. You have given the attribute name where you want to filter it. Okay. Now what it is saying that apply the variable filter to which variable? Apply the variable filter to which variable? So variable filter is again VQORG. So you just remember this thing that these two will remain common. The attribute and filter will remain in both same, right? So VQRG is the attribute on which the filter will be done, and VQRG is again the same filter where the filter will be applied to. All right. What it is saying, do you want single value, interval, range? Okay. So we want single value at this moment, and you also want it to be mandatory. Okay. Okay. Click on OK and activate. Done. See, now what we will do, we will data preview. Done. Okay. What is asking? Please give me the sales org number. So Z900 I will give, and click on OK and click on raw data. And you see here, you can only see Z900 as your sales organization data. No magic. It's a normal variable. Okay. Now, so now what you saw is the filtering capability of variable. Now to your information, the answer is, so the question is, what are the different things you can do with the variable? The only thing which you can do with the variable is the filtering part. You cannot use variable as a placeholder which you can do it with input parameter. Now you got the difference. I cannot just take any information from the user that please give me discount, yes or no, what is your name, what is, I cannot just simply ask any question from the user. And why is that so? Because variable is always mapped to a column. You see here, when I open the variable, it always asks that which attribute you want to add map to. So this is my mapping column. So that is why variable is always used to filter the data, not as a placeholder. So that is the first difference. Now let's see the other part. Now if I go to VBAK, I right click here and go to data preview, right? Click on raw data. See, am I able to see all the sales organization? Yes, I'm able to see the entire sales organization. Okay, now you go to this node also. Click on data preview, raw data. Am I able to see all the sales organization? Yes, see here, still I'm able to see the all the sales organization. See here. And you also see this thing, you all should always notice that I'm not getting the variable prompt in any of the nodes. You see here, I'm here also. If I do data preview, do I get any prompt? No. To select any sales organization? No. And do I see any other sales organization? Yes, I can see all the sales organization data, right? So in short, what I want to say here is the variable does the filtering right at the aggregation node, right at the aggregation node. Right at the aggregation node, the data is getting filtered. So till this layer, you have all the information from the table. Now tell me an answer. Is this thing right to get the entire data from entire table till the aggregation layer? And right at the end you filter. So which one is better? To filter right at the bottom or filter right at the end? Give me an answer in the chat window. What is the right answer? What should be the right way? Right, the answer is at the bottom. So you saw the answer, right? You s- you s- you yourself saw the difference. That till join 3, when I do this data preview, I don't see the prompt. I don't see any kind of filtering happening anywhere, right? So nothing is happening in the VQRG level. See, but if you go to your aggregation right here and go to data preview, see directly it asks the prompt. Click on OK. Go to raw data, and right at the end you see here my sales organization is getting filtered. Is this thing clear to everyone? That what is the difference here? The difference here is where exactly the filter is happening. The filter is happening right at the end of the calculation view, whereas if you want to do the filtering right at the bottom level, you should use input parameter. So interview's favorite question number 2: which object should you use as a filter, input parameter or a variable? Answer would be input parameter. So interviewer's favorite question number 3: why? The question will be, why do you use input parameter as the filter? Answer is right, that you have given input parameter as an answer. That is right, but why? The answer should be that input parameter, you can, with the use of input parameter, you can filter right at the bottom of the node where the data is originating. Whereas in the variable, you can only, the filter is only happening right at the end. Interviewer question number 4: then why do we need variable? If you can do everything with the, if you can do everything with the input parameter, then why do we need variable? The answer is that if you don't have any performance degradation scenarios, if you don't have a very heavy volume view, if you don't have any heavy density of volume of data which is coming in into your calculation view, you can still go with the variable part. Okay, but with the input parameter, what happens is you always have to specify that where do you have to filter the data. Variable, what happens is it happens right at the end. Okay, right at the end. So what happens is sometimes you don't want to actually control the data from the beginning, because you have certain conditions to fulfill in the calculation view. Then right at the end you do the filtering. Okay, but the ideal answer for this answer is that why do you need the variable is, variable also serves the same purpose of input parameters, no problem, that is fine. But if you see that the volume of the data which is coming inside your calculation is not very heavy, you can still go with the variable part. But the thumb rule always remember, use input parameter. Why? Because it is faster. Why it is faster? Because you can write at the beginning, you can filter the data. So variable and input parameter are the control mechanism through which you can control the flow of the data, but different utilities everything has. So both of them has a different utility, different pros and cons, different uh, powers, different limitations. But what we do is, as a developer, senior developer, whenever you see that there is a kind of filter you want to use input parameter, thumb rule, nothing you have to remember. Okay, so I think the concept of input parameter and the variable is very clear to now. So please start using this in your exercise, and you will see a lot of more information regarding that. Okay,
This conference will now be recorded.
and now let's see one of the other scenarios, and that is called value help in the input parameter. Okay, so when you see the variable input, so whenever you are asked the difference between input parameter and variable, you can also see the difference in the value help. What is value help, by the way? So this view is my variable view. Okay, so when you click on data preview, when you click on value help here, it gives you the all the sales organization value which is flowing through the calculation view. Because remember, in the calculation view where you have implemented only the variable, as variable property says that the filter will only happen right at the end. So now you can see the entire data of sales organization is flowing from your beginning till the end, and that is why I'm able to see all the sales organization data, right? Now you go to your view where you have input parameter. Now go to sales organization. As I said that there are a lot of parameter types. One is direct. What is direct parameter? So when you specify direct as a parameter type, it gives the user independence that whatever you want to write, you write. So whatever input which user wants to give, he can type in and that will be served as your input. But you can also put as a column like your variable. So when you click on column, okay, it you see directly the view table for value help, it is referring to your current view only, right? That is what the nature of calculation view. So your current view will be serving the value help data for sales organization. Now which column will be serving that? That column will be VQRG but natural thing. That's fine. Okay. Now click on OK. Click on activation. Okay. Now when you click on data preview, when you click on sales org, click here. What it is showing? No values found. Why it is so showing no values found? That is again we need to understand. Because if you see here what exactly it is saying, that the value help for the value help data will be coming from this view, which is current view. So what happens when this functionality starts working? It starts from the beginning of the node. Now when you in the beginning of the node only, what you have done an input parameter on the sales org, and it asks for this input parameter value. Okay, so what happens right at the end only, there is a filter. Sorry, right at the beginning only there is a filter. So what happens? It waits for the input from the user. But you see, I have not even given any input. So I have not even given. So when you click on data preview, it asks for that input. That please give me the sales org input. And when you click here, it again go to this level and sees that where is my input? I have not even got the input. So how will you supply the data into the current view, right? So that is why it is coming as null. So when you click here, nothing is coming. Why it is not coming? Because the data is getting filtered right at the initial level, and I have not even given the input here. I have not even given any input. So of course nothing will come here. So to tackle this kind of situations, what we actually do is, for all value help kind of situations, we create our own value help view. So we will create all this organization elements value help. So for example, if you want to create company code input parameter, if you want to create sales org parameter, we will create different views for them. Okay. So for now, we want to create calculation view, sorry, value help for sales org. So go click on new, CV underscore value help underscore sales org, something like this you will write. Okay. Which view type will that be? I don't want cube because it is not going to serve any measure. I just want the values. So dimension. Click on finish. So the question is now, where will I get the sales organization data? Where is the master data of sales organization getting stored? Right? So there must be a table in your ECC system which serves as your master data of sales organization. So I think that is not T001. I think T001 is your company code data. Yeah. So similarly, there will be a sales organization data table also. Okay. So let me just go to my tab and see that where exactly is the sales organization table. So you can also Google. So what I will Google is sales org table in SAP. Okay. Sales org master table in SAP. So where we can get the different sales organization. So there are a lot of tables basically. Uh, distribution channel is TD30. Distribution master data text. For sales organization, what we can do is 1 minute. Let me just see exactly what is the table name. I think the answer is TVKO. Okay. So what we will do, we will go to your S11 TVKO. Click on display. See, sales organization is your table. Go to preview and you see all the sales organization as your key right here. This is your sales organization VQRG. So what we will do, we will create a table on TVKO. Very simple, TVKO, so that I can have all the information regarding VQRG. So what I want VQRG only. Click here and activate. Done. Done. Very simple. Go to data preview and raw data. See, all the VQRG is coming. Fine. Now you go here. Okay. You go here at your input parameter view. Go to semantics. Go to input parameter. Right. And here what you will do? Here you will click on view name and change to your view. CV underscore value help underscore sales org. This is a view. And which column is serving that? VQRG. That's it. Click on OK. Click on data preview. Sorry, click on activate. And now what we will do, click on data preview. It's asking sales org. Now you see, click here. Here we go. You can see the entire sales organization value help here. So let's try something. Z900 here. Click on OK. Raw data, and the output is here. Okay. Very interesting concept. Value help. So this is how you actually do designing in the real HANA world also. That for value help, you keep separate views so that the entire master data of your sales org is actually coming into your calculation view. All right. So I think with that, it's a wrap to today's session. Tomorrow we will see some other concepts of calculation view. All right. Till then, goodbye.